Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for joining me. I am your host, Lewis Huckstep. For anyone that doesn't know who I am, I'm a mindset coach. I generally work with entrepreneurs, but I do work with everyone. I work from all walks of life, parents, everyday people. My purpose in life is to improve the consciousness of mankind. That's what I love. That's what I'm here to do. And I hope to add some consciousness to you today around confidence. Now, this is a huge topic that I think everyone does experience lack of confidence at some point in their life. And I just want to go deep into this and share honestly, vulnerably, I guess, my experience with it, because it's something that I really struggled with. It was something, it's confidence, self-belief, I guess, backing myself, believing in myself, self-worth, call it what it is, has been a huge pain point for me. I grew up and I really lacked that belief in myself. I was a very anxious character. I was very shy, very timid. I very much hid away from conflict and challenging conversations and challenging environments because I just didn't have that self-belief about me. And I had a really awesome conversation with an awesome friend of mine yesterday, and we were speaking about self-worth came into the conversation. So I thought I'll jump on here and share my thoughts on it. I think I've done a podcast on confidence maybe a couple of years ago. So I reckon it's a good time for a refresher. So I've got 3 points that I'm going to dive into today for you. So if you get value from this, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button below. I would appreciate that. It allows me to touch more people, reach more people, and live my purpose more. So if you get value from this, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, send it to a friend, and let's have some fun. So first thing, when it comes to confidence, I want you to picture this for me. Picture a time when you were a kid, when you were young, and pick whatever age you want to come to, maybe before the age of 10, before we started to develop our core beliefs as strong as they are today. And I want you to remember a time where you felt safe to express your authentic self, when you were being silly, gross, funny, weird, interesting, awkward, when you were being your absolute authentic self. Did you struggle with confidence in that moment? Absolutely fucking not. We are born with gifts. We all have gifts, and our gifts generally will come from our upbringing, our pain points, our tribulations that we overcome. But we all have a gift, and our gift is different for every individual. It might be a sporting gift. It might be an intellectual gift. It might be a singing gift. It might be, for me, a coaching gift. We all have gifts. And when we feel safe, so there's a great book. It's called How to Do the Work. It's actually in the background if you guys are watching the video with me live on YouTube or whatever platform you're watching this on. It's literally behind me, and there's an awesome little phrase that Nicole LaPria goes through, Dr. Nicole LaPria, and there's a term that she uses. It's like social engagement mode, so or a social engagement state. So when we're kids, our parents generally, this is one of the main roles of parents, and not every parent plays this role because not every parent's perfect. Every parent's doing the best with what they've got. But the general gist is the parent's role, a big part of their role, is to create a safe environment where the kids you can come back to feel safe, to regulate, to heal, to debrief, to get back on your feet, push yourself together, then go back out and then take on the world again. And you'll fall over, scrape your knee, make mistakes, fail, have a heartbreak, you'll have challenges and you experience challenges. So it's super important in our core upbringing, in our nature, in our psychology, to have a safe environment where we can express ourselves. So I guess the point I'm sharing on that is that in our core, there's an authentic self within you. A really awesome quote that I love by Michelangelo. He created the statue of David, and he has this quote that I kind of overuse, but I really love it. It's people ask him, how did you make such a beautiful statue? How did you make such a magical piece of artwork? And his answer was so fucking awesome. And he said, David was always there in the statue. All I had to do was remove all the pieces that weren't him. And if you pause there and actually have a think about that, it's very profound. Your authentic self is in you. All you have to do is remove all the shit that isn't you. All the personas, all the masks, all the bullshit, all the fake stuff that you're trying to put on to impress people, that's not actually the authentic self. It's not who you are. And when you're that kid, when you're that 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old, and you are expressing yourself, you feel confident. You can be weird. You can be silly. You can put yourself out there. You can have a go. You don't care whether you're right or wrong because you're just being yourself. But the key factor is you need that safe environment. You need to feel safe to do that. And depending, I guess, what you do for work and what your family structure is like or friendship circles are like, is you might not have that environment right now. So the key is to make sure that you have a safe space, whether it's your own space, whether it's your own sanctuary, your own office, your own work, your own home, friendship circle, community group that you catch up with. It's important that you have a group or a space where you can feel safe. That's why I'm a coach. I work with clients one-on-one. If you're interested in working with me, please just reach out. But a big part of my work that I do, yes, it's the stuff we talk about. It's the questions that I ask. It's the consciousness that I give to my clients. But a big part of the work is holding space for them to be themselves. That's a lot of the work, because some people really struggle with that. They had a dysfunctional, in quotations, family upbringing. They had a painful upbringing, and they didn't have that space where they could feel seen, feel heard, feel validated, feel loved. So they really missed that place or that that outlet to express themselves. So that's a big part of being confident, is being able to express your authentic self. But a part of that is generally having a place where you feel safe enough to practice that habit and practice that skill, because it just is a skill. Something I love from Jack DeLosa. He's an incredible, incredible human being. I've got his book on my shelf. I haven't read it yet. I'll get into it, Jack. But he's an incredible human. He's helped me tremendously with my own confidence, with my business, with my purpose in life, with my limits and beliefs. And a line that he always says, everything in life is just like a skill. It's just a skill. It's just like playing the violin. You can learn that skill. Some people naturally have talents that make them better at certain skills, but confidence is a skill. Sales is a skill. Self-love is a skill. Communication is a skill. Sales, leadership, football, soccer, anything in life is just a skill. So if you're willing to put in the work to go learn that from mentors and courses and books and podcasts like you're listening to right now, and you're willing to put in the work to get there, then you're going to do great, and you're going to be able to increase your skill, that skill set that you're looking to improve. So I guess big part is find yourself. First takeaway is start to find or look for places where you feel safe to express yourself, whether it's a close friend or family member, obviously your partner. I would hope a big part of my relationship beliefs, and I work with people in their relationships and help people find those beautiful relationships, is make sure that your partner makes you feel safe. And if that's something that isn't the case right now, you either need to have a tough conversation with that person, or maybe they're the wrong person. So you want to have a safe environment where you can express yourself, you can be vulnerable, you can get what off your chest. You obviously are still going to challenge each other. Maximum growth is on the borderline of supporting chaos, so support and challenge. So you're going to be challenged, but you also want to feel supported. So number one, guys, for this podcast, make sure you have someone or somewhere where you feel safe to express yourself. That might be a coach. I do that for my clients because a lot of the times I have a coaching call, not all the time, maybe 60% of the time, there's some tears there because I'm holding space for them. I'm removing all judgment that I have. I'm allowing them to be themselves and express whatever emotions they've got in there so they can let it out. So feeling safe is a huge part of this equation. Second point, living to your values. Now, I talk about values almost every single video and podcast that I do because it ties into so many things. It's the foundation of human behavior. So values is a huge part. So we all have our own set of unique values. What is our life priorities? Because your life demonstrates your priorities. It's I went through this with a client this morning. I went through with her. The questions that we go through, there's 12, 13 questions. What do you think about? What do you talk about? What do you spend your money about? What spend your money on? What do you visualize? What goals have made consistent? There's other ones. Where are you most organized? How do you feel your space? And we go through these list of questions and we define what this person's values are, because your values is where you are most confident. All right, my highest values is coaching, learning, and wealth creation. They're my top three. Your values come from the pain points that you had growing up. So for example, if you had a lot of pain around your weight or your image or the way that you looked or just something around your health or image, then health or image might be important, will probably be important to you now. For me, coaching, I had a lot of challenges around being able to communicate, make friends, connect with people. I got diagnosed with Asperger's as a kid when I was growing up, and I really struggled to connect with people and communicate with people. And I really had a pain of not having someone to show me how to do it. I didn't have a mentor that I wanted and needed when I was younger because I felt lost, I felt isolated, I didn't have that support. So coaching, because it was so painful for me, is most important to me now. Learning Asperger's along, I guess, with the communication aspect. Learning, you're a bit of a slower reader. I remember in high school, it was in primary school. I'm not sure if you guys remember or if you did this in the school you went to, but you get your pen license or your biro license for people in Australia. And I was the last person in my fucking grade to get my pen license because my handwriting was terrible. Because I just struggled to, I guess, understand things, to download it, interpret it, understand it, articulate it. I really struggle with that. And because it was painful for me in my upbringing, it's important to me now. I'm learning all the time. I've got a book right in front of me. Great book, by the way. Louise Hay's, How to Heal Your Life. Really good book. I've got books behind me in the background if you guys can see it. I love learning. I learn every single day. I do podcasts. I do books. I do all that stuff. So what I'm saying is, whatever your values are, it might be family, it might be relationship, it might be health, it might be learning, it might be training, it might be nature, it might be experiences, it might be growing, it might be, I don't know, it could be absolutely anything. Whatever those values are, live to them. Make sure you prioritize them. Every time you put someone else's expectations or values ahead of your own, you devalue yourself. And self-worth or self-value or confidence are very similar things. They're just, in my opinion, they're the same thing or very similar things. So if you're devaluing yourself by not prioritizing yourself, then you're going to feel shit. You're going to beat yourself up. You might have heard a version of this saying is you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to fill up your cup so you can give to others. It's like the cliche oxygen mask when you're on a plane. You're flying the plane and they say if oxygen masks do drop, make sure you put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help anyone else, because if you don't help yourself, you can't help anyone else. Very cliche stuff, guys, but it's very, very true when it comes to this topic. I feel like I'm speaking really fast right now. Hopefully you guys are keeping up. Just replay this if you need to go back through it. So get clear on what are your values, what intrinsically, and those are another way to think of it is it's what areas of your life are your life priorities. What's most important to you? Again, your family, your relationship, your career, your business, wealth, learning, teaching, coaching, nature, experiences, whatever it is for you, singing, dancing, expressing yourself, being creative. What does that look like to you? What is most important to you? Then schedule them in. Make sure that you schedule them in, because if you don't, whatever doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. So schedule in your training, schedule in your relationships, schedule in your friends, schedule in your kids, schedule in your career, schedule in your business, schedule in whatever it is that you want to do that is important to you. Schedule that shit in, okay? Next point, third point, is competence. So practicing it. It's a good, I think NASA uses this example. It's called exposure therapy. It's like, how do they get astronauts to get so used to, I guess, dealing with no gravity or whatever it is, the forces that they deal with from going up into space, is they expose them to it. So they become confident with it or okay with it by exposing them to that. So if you want to get better at public speaking, you got to jump on camera, do a live video. You got to film, you got to do it. You get confident by doing it. So make sure that you schedule in time to practice what it is that you want to get at. Remember, I mentioned this earlier, I think on a live video before I started this podcast, but you get rewarded in public for what you practice for years in private. So if you want to improve your level of confidence, then make sure you practice your craft. I practice my coaching every single day. I'm doing content, filming TikToks, filming YouTube videos, filming stuff, and articulating my message, and my gift is me practicing my craft. So when I jump on a video like this and people say, oh, you speak so well, I've been doing fucking videos for 8 years. Go to my personal Facebook, go to Lewis Huckstep on Facebook. It's on my personal page, not my business page. I've been doing videos for 8 years. I've been posting for 7-8 years now. And I remember when I first started, because I was so shit at it, I was so unconfident because I didn't practice enough. We used to do live video challenges where you had to do a live video every day for 90 days. And some of them were like, hey guys, I'm just down at the beach. Go and get some sun. Go enjoy yourself. Like, I'll share an example. My first ever video that I did My mentor at the time was like, when are you going to do your first video? You keep talking about it. I'm like, I'm too nervous. I'm too scared. What if people judge me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I look like a failure? What if people laugh at me? And I was in year 12 at this time. And I come from a football background. So if anyone that played sports, especially rugby or football, you give each other shit in that group. You bustle each other up, you rough each other up, and like you give each other a bit of banter, and a bit of banter is being polite about it. But you give each other you let each other know how you feel about each other. Let's put it that way. And I was literally in high school, year 12, and I remember my first video. I was walking down, for anyone on the Gold Coast, I walked down to Burleigh Esplanade. I was walking around there, and I ducked down onto the beach up near the trees. And I remember I had my camera up, and I started to film, and I'd say, hey guys, and then like someone would walk past, and I'll put the camera down. I'm like, fuck, hope they didn't see me. Fuck, oh my God. Then I'd pick back up, I'd go again. I'm like, hey guys. Anyways, this took 30 minutes. 30 minutes to film this video, and the video was about 45 seconds long, and this was the gist of it. I was like, hey guys, it's Lewis here. It's a beautiful day. Get outside, enjoy your life. Don't waste your days just sitting on your phone and doing nothing. That was the extent of the video. And I turned my phone off for 24 hours because I didn't want to see the comments, because I just knew my football friends and anyone would just rip into me. And they did. And when I turned my phone on, and I had all these comments be like, lol, Mr. Goal, Mr. Motivation, Mr. Whatever. And there was all this shit in there. And it's like, that was my first video. That was 7-8 years ago now. And I've made hundreds of videos, if not thousands of videos. Like, I think this podcast that I'm filming now is like an episode 130-ish, give or take. And so I've done 130 podcasts, a lot of them with guests, but I've done thousands of videos of stories on my Instagram, Facebook Lives, etc. So you get confident by doing it, guys. So whatever you want to be good at, and it's probably going to be in alignment with your values, is practice it. Sharpen that saw. I think it might be Napoleon Hill or Dale Carnegie. I can't remember who said this. It's in one of the books, but it's, if I had 7 hours or 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 7 hours sharpening my saw. So practice, guys. Practice your craft. Get good at it. Make videos. While I'm doing this podcast, guys, I'm actually live on Instagram as well. And when I went to click live on Instagram, it was really cool. There's a new update where it's like, it goes public to the public. There's only go live to your close friends. And there was an option to practice where it says, I read it before I jumped on. It said, you will go live. No one will be notified. No one will know about it. It's so you can practice going live. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. I didn't have that when I started, when I did my cringy 45-second video. So I thought that was pretty cool. So let's summarize that. Competence. Practice, practice, practice. You got to get under the bar, guys. You got to do those reps. You got to put in the work if you want to be good at your craft. And last point, guys, environment. Your environment is so crucial. You've heard some version of this quote before. You become the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most. Think about the 5 people you have in your life. Do they make you confident? Do they build you up? Do they make you feel better about yourself? Or do they make you doubt yourself? Do they bring you down? Do they hold you back? What do they do for you? Think about that. If you're hanging around 5 confident people, I guarantee you're going to become one of those people. If you're hanging around 5 depressed, anxious people, you're going to become those people. So the last step of the puzzle for me when it comes to confidence is making sure that your environment is going to serve you and is going to help you get to where it is that you want to get to, okay? So what I would be doing is do a bit of an audit. And this is hard. I've done this multiple times. I do this regularly. I still do this. Is I audit the people that I have in my life. My friends, my family, my team. My team, I spend a lot of time with my team. So my team, I've got to make sure I got the right team on the bus, right? So I spend a lot of time by myself, but I spend all the people that I do spend time with, I'm conscious of it. I would not let a friend, even if I was friends with them for 20 years, even if I was friends for that long, if they were not serving my mission, my purpose, my vision, I would cut them off. I already have done that. So make sure you are so fucking honest with yourself of whether these people are the right people for your life, and start to manifest and start to get out there and start to be on the lookout for people who fit that mold of who you want to be. So that's my last step for confidence. So I'm going to read that back to you guys. Step number 1, Get an environment or a person or somewhere where you can feel safe to express yourself. Because as kids, we are confident. We are ourselves. We are authentic. So that's a huge piece of the puzzle. Secondly, live in congruency with your values. Express your values, prioritize your values. Don't put other people's expectations or values ahead of yours. Every time you do, you devalue yourself. Number 3, competence. Practice, 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 practice. Sharpen that saw. Practice your skill. Practice your craft, and you will get better. And number 4 is environment. Make sure you have a right environment of the people around you, your friends, your families, the people you work with, the people that you spend time with, because you are going to become those people. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I haven't done a solo one in a while, and I was really looking forward to it. I was really inspired to share this message with you guys. If anyone is interested in working with me personally, reach out to me. Instagram is probably the best way to do it. I do offer free 30-minute discovery calls. I'll leave the link down below. If you're interested in connecting with me, working with me, I offer free 30-minute discovery calls to connect with people and see how I can help out. I run 10-week challenges. I run workshops. I have online courses to help you guys improve your level of consciousness so you can live a life that fucking inspires you. And that's my gift and that's my purpose. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Send this to a friend. Help me touch more people and help more people. Have a beautiful day. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.